1 out of every 5 children by the age of 8 already have a smartphone. I mean, that's ridiculous if you think about it. Why does an 8-year-old need a smartphone? What do they need a smartphone for? Who are they? Why do they need social media? All of these things. Like, what do they need to look up? I understand we give our children tablets and they use it at home. But why do they need a smartphone? Or yet alone even a phone, right? And I tell parents that we need to take back the narrative. We need to start being parents again. Not allow the children to be the parents. Because they dictate a lot of the times what happens. They always say, well, on Eid, I want a phone. I want this. I want that. My son, he's been asking me for a phone for like the last 3 years. He's 11. I told him, you're not getting a phone till you go to high school, maybe even later on. What's the need for it? I mean, growing up, we didn't even have phones, I mean, we just told our parents we're leaving. I mean, I get it. The world is a little scarier today, and we want to make sure where our children are. But alhamdulillah, nothing happened. And as long as we're communicating with our children where they are at, I mean, at the most, fine, give them a dumb phone, right? But why a smartphone? And this is the worst thing that they could have, because what's happening is they're getting this addiction, right? Where I talked about this yesterday, that a tween between the ages of 8 to 12 spends 5 hours a day on their phone. Teenagers spend 8 hours a day on their phone. Now, there's only 24 hours in a day. And if they're spending almost 1/3 of their day on their phones, what are they doing? How are they going to be productive, right? They're already sleeping for 8 hours. They're already on their phone for 8 hours. And then they're probably doing whatever they want for the next 8 hours. And this is causing attention, like they talk about attention spans, right? Now these children, they're not able to pay attention to what they're doing. And even this is happening with college students, right? Where every few minutes they're going back and checking, oh, who's texting me? What's happening? And they're not able to concentrate on what they're studying, right? And we have to make sure that we are protecting our children, because at the same time, these algorithms, right? There was a Netflix documentary called Social Dilemma, where they said how these big social media companies, they manipulate the users by using algorithms, right, that encourage addiction to their platforms. So there's these scientists behind, like data scientists and all these developers and everybody behind this, that they constantly are like, okay, they got off the app. And they're studying, why did they get off the app? Oh, because this content was not applicable to them. So now what they're doing is that they're pushing that content towards them to make sure that they stay on even longer, because the longer they're on these social media platforms, the more money they generate because of ads and so forth. And this is what's happening. And now they're addicted to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse, WhatsApp, everything that just keeps coming out, right? And even adults are addicted to these things. And what's happening is that it's causing a lot of harms. And some of the harms, what are they? Well, lack of social skills, right? Lack of social skills. I mean, 43% of teenagers said that they use their phone to not interact with other people, to avoid interacting with others. And this is, think about this when we're younger. When you talk to somebody, people actually looked each other in the eye, they gave a firm handshake, they were able to hold a conversation. You talk to these young people nowadays, they can't even hold a conversation. It's very difficult. They're constantly like skirmishing. There's constantly like all of these things. And even when you try, you're seeing, I work in the tech field as well, full time. But you're seeing these younger graduates. They don't even know how to hold a conversation in the workplace. And majority of it is not even know what you know. It's about how you get along with your other colleagues, right? You want people that are going to be able to fit the company culture. And now if they can't even have a conversation, how are they going to get hired? How are they going to have a job? So this is their lack of social skills. This is one of the harms that are happening.